You got to be you got to be fancy.
Fancy, like Applebee's on a date night.
Yeah, with
Get
that
the
bourbon streak steak and the Oreo shake.
and the whipped cream.
Mm. Anyway,
That would
so
be good with Caden.
so what are your thoughts on the conference round?
I have no thoughts except that the Eagles literally took it to Washington, 55-23.
Yeah, that got. I was at work, so I was keeping up with the score all day.
They got out of
I
hand
was,
after halftime.
I was like, oh, Washington's got a chance, and then that last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, I'm like, you know what? 10 minutes to get 17 points. Two scores basically, or at least tie it. I was like, it's doable. It's very freaking doable. You don't get to that point without being able to do that. And then it just kept getting worse.
Yeah. It's like, halftime was peroxide on a wound. After halftime, it was rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, straight burn.
Straight burn. If you want to get on games, you can. I knew what he came down for. He didn't have to say anything. He's just sitting there looking like a lost puppy. Speaking of puppy.
She's right next to me.
This
Say hello to Ripley.
Rip. So are you not able to keep the dog in the apartment, or
We're not supposed to. Not in this one. We're in the process of trying to switch to a dog friendly one, and we have to kind of keep her quiet.
I get you. So
Right now,
if
she's
you do
sleeping on a bed.
switch to, I'll be there to help you move.
I appreciate it. You're a scholar and a gentleman.
Well, it's the thought, right?
Yeah,
You live over 3,000 miles away, and you're gonna offer to help me move. Man, that's a hell of a guy.
that's a friend right there.
Now, if I make it out there to actually do it, I'm just getting it off right there. Nothing says I'm like, oh, you've taken. It's like doing some you know, when they say if you need anything, let me know. No one ever takes you up on that. Like, I want to do a sad status on Facebook and be like, you're like, and it's like, oh man, if you need anything, just let me know. I could really use a steak dinner. Like,
It's
call their bluff.
yeah.
It's like, you said if I need anything, let you know. I need a steak dinner. These wounds aren't going to fill themselves.
The best way to heal a wound, an open wound, is protein, right?
I hear a good ribeye is really good for it.
Yeah.
Medium rare with a double baked potato, or twice baked potato. Oh,
Some sour cream and cheese with some broccoli on the side.
I was gonna go with green beans, steamed.
Green beans are also a very solid partner for steak.
Berry, or even just corn.
You know what? Like some, just nice, good quality corn. Corn. Some
Ooh, side note.
broccoli with some lemon and maybe some garlic. Same thing with the green beans.
Side
Very
note. If you have corn and mashed potatoes, what do you do?
I don't intentionally mix them, but if they get mixed together, so be it.
I mix them. Like, it's so much easier to eat the corn that way.
It is. That's why I don't fight it.
Just
They're
let
next to each other on the plate. Just let it happen.
Nah, I'm gonna go in easy.
And as you know, it's not going in raw.
This got out of hand real quick. Well, we were talking about football, and we got on.
Yeah. So how it turned into food, then into sexual.
So anyway, it's because of the raping Washington took. That's why. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So it came full circle. See, he had to complete it. No, but Washington's season success, regardless of how this ended.
Oh yeah.
Rookie quarterback, no one expected anything from him or from that whole team because they're in rebuild mode. So it would be safe to assume that the team, if drafting correctly and playing the free agency, fill those missing pieces, they could be a division threat again. And
Yeah.
I don't see why they couldn't repeat to get, where they were, last Sunday. Eagles, you know, I guess we'll talk about it when we talk about the, AFC matchup. But, the Eagles are a tough opponent. I did not realize they had the number one defense in the league. And you got a run first offense tied with the number one defense. That is a tough matchup. So is that saying we can stop you and then you got to stop our run? Like that's it's gonna take a special team to beat them. Um, if that makes sense.
And you know what? All jokes aside, going again, we'll talk about it, but with Kansas City, I mean, if anybody's got the talent, to pull this out, it would be Kansas City.
Yeah, but I
You
don't
know,
think, let's just jump into the AFC matchup. We both picked the Bills and Kansas City pulled it off.
on paper, it was a close game.
It was 32-29. It was a field goal game. A lot, the Bills have been close. So I still say, successful season, make it to the AFC championship, but they need to get over this hump. I don't think they're missing anything offensively. I think this is more, in my eyes, I think it's coaching. Personally, I have nothing against Sean McDermott, but if you're getting to the playoffs every year and you can't beat this one particular team, and it's like, what is going on? Why can't you break that? Why can't you get over this? Josh Allen is doing whatever he can for that team to win. And he showed that week in and week out. Um, so if I had to guess on anything, I'd guess probably one more year of Sean McDermott. And if they get back to the playoffs and get knocked out of the playoffs, I don't expect Sean McDermott to be their head coach.
Yeah, I was going to say this about Washington. I'll say this about Buffalo as well. Going into the next season, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. You're this close to going to the Super Bowl. Let's see what next year holds. Short of injuries,
Right.
that are out of people's control. But if if you're right there again, you could say, hey, this is like the Bills with the Patriots, or the entire AFC East with the Patriots. None of them were consistently bad teams. It was just like nobody could get past New England. Is this the same kind of situation where can anybody in the AFC get past Kansas City? And is this, this past season showing the kinks in their armor? And we're within, Buffalo, we're within 3. They're having kinks in the armor. Are they going to fix it next year? Or not change a thing either? Next year, boom, we go into it, and the score is reversed. So I wouldn't change a thing. Give the coach another year. Because just like Washington, you get to the AFC Championship game, and you lose to the reigning Super Bowl champions by 3. By far,
I think
it's not a failure. It's a success.
no, it is. But I think, as a team aspect, like what is the missing piece? Why can't they give out? I'll give the 2002 Bucks a reference. Tony Dungy built that team. They kept getting knocked out of the playoffs. They let go of Dungy. They brought in John Gruden. First year, Super Bowl. And I think it's a mindset. I think it's a mentality thing at that point. Because I'm not saying John Gruden built that team. That was Tony Dungy's team. with the 0-2 Bucks when they went to the Super Bowl. But John Gruden brought this this kind of like chip on your shoulder, we're gonna punch you right in the mouth kind of attitude with this team. And I think that I like Sean McDermott. I like what he's done with the team, but I think if Buffalo goes to the same spot again and gets knocked out, I don't think Sean McDermott's going to be the head coach. I think it'll be an equal parting. But it'll be kind of hard to hang on to the job and be like, "Hey, we made it here again." It's like, yeah, but we hired you to get us here. Why can't you get us here?
Yeah.
You can't blame the player. Josh Allen played his heart out. That's all I got to say about that. Now we got the Super Bowl matchup: Chiefs versus Eagles rematch from like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. So this is where I think it's gonna be interesting. Kansas City does have a really good defense. Eagles are better, being the number one defense in the league. Eagles also have, I think it was the second in rushing. I think they had well over 200 yards rushing against Washington. And Saquon's a special player. You know, you and me both know that. Being Giants fans, watching him run behind a non-existent offensive line and making something happen.
Yeah.
And now he's got a legit offensive line, and see what he did the first play. He broke it 60-something yards. That's a bye. Oh, okay.
Like it was nothing. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is supposed to how it's go.
This is another day in the office. And, I think if I had to, I think for this one game, I'm a Saquon Barkley fan.
Yeah. For me, as much as
It pains me to say go Eagles, but I want to see Saquon get a ring.
yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, not that I necessarily want Philly to win. I want Saquon to do well, and I want Saquon to win.
And so I just don't, because they can have all the talent in the world. The Eagles have too many weapons. You can't cover everyone. Even you, it's it's going to be a tough game to be a chief to get for a Chiefs to get a victory. Now, I'm not saying if the Chiefs, I think that's the best possible team to get the victory. Because if it was Bills Eagles, that would have been a tough matchup.
What about Bills and Ravens? Or not Bills and Ravens, Bills and Eagles.
Yeah,
Eagles.
if it was Washington KC, I would say KC all day. As much as I would want to see Washington win,
KC's the better is the established team.
Yeah. If it was Washington Bills, I think it would definitely be closer, but I think the Bills would pull it off. Philly Bills,
I'd have to lean on Philly. Philly is it's a stout team. My opinions for me to say that, but just on paper, Eagles are just, you got to worry about AJ Brown, you got to worry about Devontae Smith, you got to worry about Goddard. Oh wait, there's Saquon in the backfield. Oh, I forgot about him. Oh wait, Jalen Hurts can run the ball too. What do you pick your poison?
What is that?
Because either way, you're gonna die. I mean,
What is that?
pick the way. But we got the matchup from 2 or 3 years ago. It's a rematch, and I do not see the Chiefs being victorious on this. I think the three-peat ends at Super Bowl 59, and I think Saquon Barkley gets his ring.
yeah. If this was a choice between which team I like more, or I hate the least,
We
It would be
were
fun to say.
trying really hard not to say Eagles. Like, I don't know if the 6 or 7 people that watch this or understand our alcohol fuel hatred against the Eagles. Like, this is the team. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, Philly's going to be in flames. Like, imagine California, but in Philadelphia.
Oh, I said on Facebook, win, lose, or draw, Philly is destroying Philadelphia again.
I don't get it. Like, you win the World Series, destroy the town. Lose the Super Bowl, destroy the town.
We're like at 30, like 20 something.
Like you can't
And you
win.
know
Like,
what? The same rabid passion and support they have for their teams, whether it's the Phillies or the Eagles or the 76ers or hell back in the day with ECW. Philly fans are friggin' dedicated and they are passionate, and I respect it.
and
But like,
it's
you win
somebody
the World Series and then you're lighting cars on fire.
Josh Allen.
Brotherly love, right?
like I'm pretty sure they've got like mini courthouses on every corner of the streets in Philadelphia because there's going to be something that's going to need a judge.
They have a jail in their stadium. That should say
They had
everything.
a judge in a jail at the vet because that's how unruly the fans were. Like, what does that say? That's how much we care. Really? Because you're sitting in jail instead of enjoying the game. And they had a judge on site so you can get charged and sentenced. Really? Please, Philly fans, make it make sense.
Again, respect and love the passion and the dedication. But guys,
What's the X Factor?
I know it's Philadelphia where revolutions start, but like, let's not burn it down, all right? I love
No,
Philadelphia. It's a beautiful
it's like
city.
they're gonna go
I love it.
if they win the Super Bowl, they're gonna tip the Liberty Bell over.
They're gonna crack it again.
The thing's only got one big crack. I don't think it could survive another one.
For the record, this is the quietest she's been, or the neediest she hasn't been. She's just
Puppies
sleeping
are.
and being with her toy.
I don't know how long it's been since you raised a pup, but I bet you it's coming back to you like, oh shit, chewing on everything.
I have scars on my hands.
Yep. Wait till your teeth start falling out and you step on one. Oh, it sucks. Little razor blades. It's worse than stepping on a Lego, especially a clear Lego. Whoever invented those can just the devil can fuck them right in the ass with that.
So, but yeah,
So I think we established who, as a player, we want to be successful in the Super Bowl.
I'm choosing Saquon.
Me too.
Saquon.
Me too. Saquon. And I
Take
swear,
that.
like he has a legit chance if he actually balls out in that game to get MVP.
You know what? He if he doesn't get the MVP of the season,
I don't think he'll get
that-
MVP of the season. I think that's going to go to Josh Allen. I think he might get Offensive Player of the Year.
Man, that's so nonsense.
I'll give him that.
which is basically the MVP anyway. Yeah, MVP of Jace. You know,
I
but
think
like,
he'll get Offensive MVP.
you know, the way he's not just this year, the way he's played, but you know, he's been good consistently.
He has. When he's
Even
not hurt.
even on our bad Giants teams, he was consistently good. He was a shining star. And then going to a good team like Philadelphia, it was the perfect fit. It was needed for him.
We should have built around, but no, we won't get into that. I'm not gonna. No, it hurt me. It hurt me at the beginning of the season to get rid of my Saquon shirt because I had two. As soon as I found out he signed with the Eagles, I was like, right in the fucking garbage. Oh yeah, pity as fuck.
Oh,
It just fuck you.
yeah, you know, like a lot of people have said when people were burning jerseys. I'm sure that really hurt his feelings after he's already counting the money he got from that shirt.
Hey, let me have my moment where I felt better, okay?
He's like, "You did what?"
Oh,
Okay.
did you feel something? Felt like someone thrown away my jersey. Whatever.
like the Raw coming out on the Raw Netflix. He's like,
Bro,
the goosebumps.
Speaking of that, I hope that one wrestler that bashed his head against the announce table is all right. JD,
McDonough.
yeah, I guess he collapsed after the match behind backstage.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I'll be admit, like the character of JD McDonough, I'm not a fan of. He's like Lord Farquhar, is just more annoying. But I saw the
Turn it.
I saw his boom head hit back. I'm like, ooh, mm, that could be serious.
And then
You
he
know,
finished the match.
it's like, dude, relax. We got it. We'll carry it. Like we got you. And
So hope he's all
Dakota
right.
Kai too. She's supposedly out because
That word.
of that missile drop kick.
Mute yourself.
She got hit pretty good too.
But I just wanted to wish him a speedy. Just I saw that, I was like, oh geez, hope he's all right. Because like you said, his character's but as a person, like you never want to see no one get hurt,
Yeah,
regardless. We know wrestling is staged, but they do put their bodies on the line. Real injuries do occur.
yeah. You
Like
can't.
no
You can't.
one wants to see no one go down for anything.
Yeah,
And it's when I saw that, it's like, oh, that because they made that announce table. It's like it didn't move.
no,
The table didn't move. If it was an old style table, I could see it maybe moving back a little bit, but that's like his head snapping back like that. That was scary. Um,
and keep in mind too, those announce tables they're designed with giving them. They're designed to break basically. If you see them, it's just
especially the Spanish announce table.
it's definitely that one. It breaks just by blowing on it.
See
But
my my table.
if you look at whenever they take the cover off of it, if you look at it, it looks like a regular table that they just put facade around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like almost they know it's gonna at some point they're gonna want to destroy it. But like you said, he still hit hard
He did.
in a spot where they don't.
Probably the
It's not
worst
meant
possible way
to.
to hit that table. He did it. He found the way.
Yeah, it's the
It's like
perfect
similar
spot.
like when Shawn Michaels did the moonsault off the ropes and landed on the announce table and it didn't break, and I think he broke a couple ribs
Yeah,
because he landed on the similar part, but he landed on the front piece and he kind of bent himself, like he broke a couple ribs. And it's like you don't ever want to see that. Like
no,
people are like, did he botch? I'm like, I think he may have misjudged.
yeah. Or
But I
maybe
agree.
the table was supposed to be here, but they
Well,
put
I
it
don't like
here.
I
You know,
agree with Chris Jericho. He doesn't say like we don't botch. I go, this is all calculated risks. Like they go in and day out, put their bodies on the line. He goes, I don't like the word botched. Is like you're out there. We know it's scripted. We know it's staged, and shit happens. Right? It's similar to like when Kurt Angle did the moonsault off to Mr. Anderson in TNA, and Anderson was a little shallow, I would say. So Kurt had to jump more straight up instead of arching back, and he landed on Mr. Anderson's face. Uh,
oh, lost you, Joe. Joe, you there? Think I lost you, Joe. Give you a
hang on,
chance.
sorry. There we go.
All right.
Sorry, I had
All
a
right.
phone call. I thought I ignored it. So anyway, you know, Kurt Angle did that infamous moonsault off
Yeah.
the cage to Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
He also did it in TNA,
Yeah.
and he landed on. I'll call him Mr. Kennedy because that's how I know him as. He landed on his face. A little shallow, but you know, um, like I say, I don't believe in botches. Like this is people doing calculated risk. A lot of people putting trust in their coworkers, saying you're not going to hurt me, but have the same respect. Like, hey, what we do, we could get hurt, and or die. You know, as you've seen, like, what was it, 2004, where Eddie Guerrero collapsed in the ring. He didn't have his heart attack. He collapsed in the ring after getting all hyped up and all that, and he collapsed in the ring. And now it was later that year, I think when it turned 2005, when he died at home or wherever he died. But he collapsed in the ring, and JBL saw it, and the other wrestlers saw it, the referee saw it, and it's like, this ain't part of it. And you see the legit worried look, like, okay, this is not supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
Like, and it was if I see the reel again, because you know, I'll make sure to send it to you so it kind of jogs your memory. But he did collapse, like you saw him kind of grasp, like right here, and he just goes down, and it's like you knew that wasn't part of it. Like
Yeah.
that, you see him all of a sudden, his eyes got real big, and he's like, he knew he was in trouble.
Yeah. You could say that it was like the beginning of the end, so to speak, you know?
Rest in
Fine.
peace. You know, but I don't believe in botches. I do like Chris Jericho's aspect on that. It's calculated risks. It's, you know, believing that you're other, like, there, how many times do we see like, oh, like that's not a botch, but you know when Jeff Hardy wrestled Sting in AEW and they realized Jeff was high?
Yeah.
And so
Was that
and
AEW or
Sting,
was that TNA? Or
it
Bischoff?
was
It was TNA because Bischoff sent him home.
right, and they had Sting pin him, and Jeff was trying to kick out, and he just had Sting pin him. 1, 2, 3, and end it. Just like, no, you're not coming out here like this. You're
Yeah.
no condition.
And it was obvious too.
Very, like, you know, that was a side note. That was, you know, I just found that kind of scary. Like Jeff Hardy's a high flyer, and he's going out there high and all that.
He was a high flyer at that moment.
Yeah, you know,
And it's like, you know, when we're talking about Angle, you know, I was gonna say, you know, it's like when you go in the ring, like you said, you go in there with the utmost trust in who you're going against. But like with Jeff, how could you trust him to be safe?
you
And
could, you
and it was
could.
and at that time, Angle was in his full Perk Angle mode with respect. You know, it's like, you know,
Now I finally get that when they say Perk Angle.
yeah,
Like it took me. I saw a reel saying he had like 20, or he had like 12 different pharmacists writing up 12 different
yeah,
prescriptions. I didn't realize Perk Angle. I thought I meant like Perk Angle, like perfect, like he was in his prime, like Perk Angle, not that he had a huge pill
Perk is the
addiction.
problem.
I was like, oh,
Yeah, and you know, on one hand, it's like, you know, Kurt Angle with a drug problem is still better than most people without a drug problem.
but he
But
realized he had.
he was bad, and it's like knowing now that how bad he was, it's like, would do you risk it? You know, and do you risk going in the ring with him? You know what I mean? So
You know, it's like when we entered the ring and you tried to do that hip,
yeah,
the knee, and you hit my hip, and you fell. You
yeah.
know?
Now, granted, we're not professionals by any means, and
I
just
don't
about
care.
anything.
We had third world nationals watching us. They're laughing or chanting or thing, whatever they were doing. I don't know. I don't remember. Mike, I love you. Yeah, you gotta work. Just because you're off of school doesn't mean I'm off of work. That's not how that works. Wish it
Yeah,
did. Fuck. Oh, yeah. Oh, fucking, it's yeah, like freaking. I guess we had like 50-mile-an-hour gusts and snow this morning, so they had a 2-hour delay, and then they canceled school.
I mean, yeah, like good to be safe. I know we're both at the age where we could say, we went to school in it, but you know, on the other hand, it's like it probably is for the best that they don't go.
Well, that's what it was too. I think it was the buses you couldn't see. I don't think the plows were keeping up because of the wind. So 2-hour delay to give them a chance, and then they reevaluated. Like my wife works for the transportation department for our school district, and her boss told her, "Hey, 2-hour delay, but stay tuned." You talk about some foreshadowing. Like I've read some books of good foreshadowing, so I could pick up on hits real fucking quick.
Yeah. So
You don't got to tell me.
Come.
Yeah, and then like 35. Like I went back to sleep. I woke up at 5:20, saw the 2-hour delay. And we're like, okay. Well, Tiff told me the 2-hour delay. Made the boys' lunches, everything. Had my cup of coffee. Like I'm getting in my routine. 2-hour delay. Well, son of a bitch. Now I'm jazzed up on coffee. And now I got to go try to get some more sleep. I'm like, all right, Tiff will wake me up. Be good to go. My phone rings. It's the school. Knew it was closed at that point. I'm like, nap time. So they made the right call.
Yeah, like I said, it's probably for the best, like for safety's sake, not just the kids, but the bus drivers and stuff like that. Because let's be honest, those buses don't stop on a dime, and
Stop on a dime in their big ass vehicles. Well, they're not the best. I mean, my mom was a bus driver, and I've driven with her in some storms with buses before, and they handle their own. But it's
yeah,
like
they're a
you
school
said,
bus.
it's
And Wi-Fi hell.
it could stop snowing, it'd still be drifting. Like
Yeah,
apparently the
it's
highest gust of wind was in Buffalo. It was like 63 or 64 miles an hour.
shit will blow my ass over, let alone the big friggin' soapbox on wheels.
But and then tomorrow they're off of school for like the Lunar New Year. Like, what the fuck is this?
Shit, I wish we had the Lunar New Year off.
The Chinese New Year or something they took out. Like, what the fuck? Okay. Where was this when we were in school? Like, I don't remember all these days off. Like, I remember the important ones. Martin Luther King, President's Day, Labor Day. Well, no, Labor Day was before when school started. You had Memorial Day.
The big ones: Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter.
Thanksgiving, but Columbus Day. And I think that was it. And then you had your winter break, and you had your Christmas break, winter break, and spring break. Now they're getting like Juneteenth off, this Lunar New Year. Like, are you guys learning anything?
And it's like a lot of the day, like spring break, it coordinates with Easter. So it's like, okay, one vacation, winter break coincides with Christmas, one break. They're like, okay, we're not going to do Columbus Day anymore, so let's do this day. Like it's not so much you're getting more days off as they're just trading days.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know how California does school. If you guys don't get, apparently, you guys probably had fire days.
At least LA did.
Yeah, the Palisades Elementaries were on a 2-hour delay because of the fires.
Get the snow.
2 hours?
Yeah, we're calling
Yeah,
our kids out of school. We're in Nebraska right now.
We think we can stop the school from burning within 2 hours. So you guys will be fine.
At least long enough to get your kids out of class.
Every kid will be required to carry a fire extinguisher for hotspots.
Sorry, Timmy, your water bottle is needed right now.
Everyone also, will be required to wear fire retardant pants.
And
Is your
stay
family
away
gonna-
from the pool. It is boiling.
We will be having. I was gonna make a sick joke with the pool boiling. We'll be having a clam bake. Girls swim practice.
Can't get canceled. I ain't worth shit.
That one was good. You fucking know it.
I was gonna drink coffee, but I was like, "Oh, wait a second."
Well, now he's more interested in the clam bake all of a sudden.
I do like a good clam bake. I like them. I like them raw though. I like them fresh.
Speaking of I don't like clams personally. I tried them once and immediately the texture at a clam. I'm like, what?
Which is funny because you have 2 kids.
Yeah. I was talking about the legit clam, not vagina. But I see what you did there. That was the saddest drum set thing. But, now the sun's out. Roads are clear. Fucking walking to New York. You miss snow yet?
You know what? I have a love-hate relationship with snow. I really do. I don't want to do it. I'm at the point where I don't want to do any of the work related to snow, like shoveling out cars or anything like that. That's why I loved my Jeep.
Yep, I was gonna say that. You loved your Jeep and then you just
I didn't have to dig it out. And then it's like, oh, it's pretty, it's nice. I always say if it's gotta be 25 degrees outside, it might as well be snowing too. But after a day or two when everything starts turning to slush and black grime and shit like that, I was like, I'm fucking over it. And then it snows again on top of it. I'm like, yeah.
Because you guys, when you live in Jersey, you guys will get hit with those a nasty nor'easter and just get freaking butt raped.
It just comes all at once. It goes.
I remember getting pictures from you and Espinoza when you lived in Jersey in 2.5 feet of snow. And she was sending pictures of her car being completely covered, and here you are with your Jeep.
I think what I had to do with all I really had to do with the Jeep is I kind of dug out around the wheels a little bit, kicked the snow out of, loosening it up. While the Jeep was warming up. Take all the snow off of it, or most of it. Drinking my beer at 9:00 in the morning because guess what? Nobody's going to work. And I'm just out there with a broom and a small shovel, digging out the wheels, drinking a beer. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God, I hate digging it out." I'm just like, done.
That's why
my dad's house, make sure he's all right.
If you live in an area where you have chances of getting dumped on with a lot of snow, you should have a vehicle equipped for that.
If you could afford it, granted, if you could afford it.
Okay, yep. If you can afford it, if you can swing it. I understand that, if all you can afford is a little, Chevy Spark or Sonic or whatnot. That's you do you, but I don't want to hear you complain about you having to dig your car out every time there's 2 feet of snow.
And as much as I loved my Camry that I had, it was my grandmother's car and whole 9 yards, and I ran that thing to 200-some thousand miles. And last I heard, it's still running strong. But it was like, I was like, I actually have to dig this thing out of snow. Not liking it.
Just like your Saturn, because you had your Saturn pre-Army, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I bought that in '97.
And that car was even lower than your Camry.
Yeah. When I had to dig that thing out, I really had to dig that thing fucking out.
Hashtag remember the herringbone.
Yes. But I remember when I got out of the Army went back up to Jersey in July. It was right before Father's Day. I remember that. And my dad looked at my Jeep. He's like, "What the fuck? You did all this work to it for what? Why?" That winter, he's like, "Okay, I get it now." I'm like, he didn't say a peep after that about it. After he's trying to dig his, and he had a Grand Cherokee at the time, which is another great freaking vehicle, period. But he kept his, he's an old school Italian guy from New York. He keeps his truck stock. But I'm like, like, you need help? He's like, no, I'm almost done. And there's a big snow pile. And I just go.
I still remember when we went off road in Texas and Leach got his big old truck stuck and watching your Jeep bounce. I'd never seen a vehicle bounce back and forth trying to pull another vehicle out. Your Jeep did it.
Dude, he was fucking stuck. And
like, that was absolutely insane. Like, I thought we were going to have to hook up a couple vehicles. I'm like, hey, let's give it a go. And he was like, I'm like, whoo.
And all it took was one good pull and bounce at the right angle, and he was loose, and he was able to back out. But where he was and the angle he was at, I didn't have a good angle, so I just needed enough to pull him back, just out. And that rut, I remember, dude. When that rut was wet, it was Florence. Guys, off-road park in Florence.
Yep.
When that rut, which was a good 50 yards long, 25 to 50 yards long, and it was deep because it swallowed his truck, and he had the Ram at the time. When it was wet, it was fucking muddy and nasty, and you had to keep going.
Like, I didn't go through that when I had my Ranger. So I went out there a couple times, and I went through some stuff. But when I saw that, I'm like, no. Like, I was trying to follow Nancy with her Xterra, and then she decided to crawl up this fucking little mini mountain thing with Iggy with her. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going there. And I'm like, okay, there's Reggie. I'm following him now.
And the first time I went through that rut with the Jeep, it was still stock, and I got about 3/4 of the way through, and I couldn't go any further, and they had to pull me out. And then after I got the work done on it, I was like, I'm going to try this again. I was like, keep going. I'm out. I'm like, God.
Well, it was just like, we didn't know what we were doing. I'll be honest. Like, we didn't know. Like, we were just literally going there, beating up our vehicles that we're still paying on, someone leasing.
And I remember...
no names we mentioned.
It's been 7 years. We're good. And I remember that time, it was me, you, and Nancy. Friggin' that one deep water-filled pond rut.
Yep.
I go through, and I come out and it's almost up to my windshield. I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, 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 fuck. Yeah. Like, oh my god. And like I knew as soon as I slowed down, it was gonna lock up. And I would have been fucked.
It was, I mean, I remember doing the one, like, I went through one, then you went through it. I'm like, yeah, but you can't do it backwards. Fuck you.
Who's doing it backwards? Reggie's doing it backwards.
Reggie's doing it backwards. And folks, that's where the saying comes from. Reggie's doing it backwards. Comes from back in 2007.
Was it? Yeah, it was 2007.
Yeah. It was after our first deployment because you had the Saturn pre-deployment and you got your Jeep after our first deployment. Because I remember you calling me or texting me, like, hey, come outside.
Yeah. Love that.
So, like, then you come out, I'm like, you pull up in the Jeep, I'm like, oh, nice. Then I think we got Taco Bell or Chinese. Either way, you drove me into a hedgerow with all the cats. You know, that one, you almost killed me.
Yeah, I remember I was pissed. I was like, dude, knock it off. Knock it off. And you're like, fuck you, hood. I was like, dude, knock it off. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. And you're like, dude, what the hell? I was like, what did you learn?
What you learn? Yeah, standing on your fucking step side, hanging on your mirror. You drove through like a bush or whatever.
Yeah. I was like, you got off. What's that, baby? I'm sorry.
Don't kick the puppy.
No, the dog was like, like, what are you yelling about? Right.
You know, chasing all the cats behind the Chinese place.
They're like, stop it. Stop it. Like, sorry. Delicious.
Chubby Panda.
Yep. Chubby Panda.
Chubby Panda.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't believe it's been over 20 years now for both of us since we signed that dotted line, joining the military. You had the pleasure of going to Korea first for your first duty station. When I got stuck at fucking Fort Hood for my only duty station.
I forget who I was talking to about it, but I thought we were just bullshitting about it. And as much as I loved going to Korea, and I wouldn't, if it happened any other way, things would be completely different. But I said, I was like, looking back at Korea, as much fun as I had and as great of experience as it was, and I'm sure other vets, I doubt other vets will be watching this right now, but I didn't, you can attest to it, other vets can attest to it. You don't always get the best leadership.
No.
And I got there, and to the unit, it was kind of, I wouldn't say ragtag, but it was, in Korea, you get a lot of E5s that are squad leaders, E4s that are team leaders, because,
E6s, platoon sergeants.
Yeah. So it seems like there's always like a rank down, which is great because, great for all, them and, the experience and the, but when I got there, great team leaders, great squad leaders, knowing that, I'm a fresh out of basic training, freaking private, not knowing shit, but then it slowly turned into getting not so great leadership, other leadership recognizing it, doing what they can, not being able to do much. So, and then getting to Fort Hood, I'm like, holy shit, this is the way it's supposed to fucking be.
And we didn't have the greatest leadership in the 110th either. We had good leaders. Like, I wouldn't say, I'm not trying to knock no NCO, but I think a good fair statement would say there was good leaders throughout the 110th, but overall not the greatest leadership.
Yeah.
And I mean that the kindness of my heart. That was my first unit, and they were throwing everyone in. It was like the 110th got the leftovers.
Yeah, 110th was ragtag at the beginning, definitely at the beginning. But I'll give a shout out to like Sergeant Meacham, Sergeant Friend, friggin'
Right.
uh,
Just like I gave a shout out like Sergeant Keene when we got him. You know, Reese was a good leader. My team, I lucked out getting Sergeant McCutcheon. He was a great leader.
yeah. Xavier was, you could say he could be a pain in the ass, but he's a pain in the ass in the best ways possible. You know, remember Sergeant Mac, the last thing when I was leaving, he was one of the last people I saw. He came up to me and gave me a hug, and he was like, "Sucks seeing you go." He's like, "I legit like you. You could, it's like you could have been great if, you know, yeah,
No, yeah.
again,
I mean,
those other leaderships." He's like, "I wish you could have stayed in." He was good people.
hey, can I say something? Ready? Remember this? I'm Bruce.
Yeah. Bruce,
Sorry.
Bruce, Bruce is a good guy. He's good people, but he's Bruce.
When he was a good soldier because he did what was asked. But I remember being in the 110th, and one of my first interactions with him was as we were talking about getting promoted to E3. Because I was an E2, he was an E2, and he's like, "You're not getting promoted before me. I'm the senior E2 of the company." I'm like, "You're keeping score?" Like, who cares that you're the senior E2? You're cleaning shit just like me, asshole.
At that point, you're like, "Oh, I got more time in grade." Dude, we're fucking privates. It's all the same.
It is. We're still going to do the shitty fucking work. If you get PFC before me, all right, good for you. I'm happy. But guess what? It didn't work out that way because you got stuck in E3 and I got promoted to sergeant. Now, I don't know why he did. I won't talk as many. You got dicked over. We won't have to go into that. But I did. You remember the saying, like, us in the 110th had a saying, like, did the 110th ever happen to you? Now, it definitely happened to you in Iraq. Don't got to go into great detail. I already know the story. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I was there.
But, yeah, you lived it. I'm talking about when Sergeant Martin came on the scene for 2nd Platoon. You remember Sergeant Martin? He talked. You couldn't say, like he had a speech impediment. And I'm not trying to make fun of him, but he talked funny. And it was hard not to laugh. And he didn't know fucking cadences worth of shit. You know the granny, when my granny was 91, she did PT just for fun. That cadence, and you go out like my own granny was 92. She did PT for me and you. Like the cadence, like I still remember the cadence. He's like, when my granny turned 94, she did like flutter kicks. So I'm like, and then no one repeated it. And then the platoon's like, fucking repeat it. I'm like, oh. Like, it was so funny because he didn't know. And he got, like, I think he was subject to poor leadership from Korea because that's where he came from. And, like, he got passed through the ranks. But the 110 thing happened to Milton. It was Motor Pool Monday. Military talk for every Monday. We had to do PMCSs on all the military vehicles. So we had them dispatched. If we had to go to a range or whatnot, they were ready to roll. Motor Pool Monday is where I learned how to sham. But Milton, you remember where a battery is for the Humvees, right?
Yeah.
Where's the battery on a Humvee, Reggie?
Under the passenger front seat.
Okay. So, and us doing a proper PMCS, we have to check set battery, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So this E5, Sergeant Martin comes around, sees Milton taking his seat out. What the hell are you doing touching my seat? Milton goes, I'm checking the battery. He goes, why don't you look under the hood, stupid? Milton held his composure. She's like, Sergeant, the battery's underneath the seat. And then went right to Sergeant Ryder. You remember Sergeant Ryder?
Sergeant Ryder was good people too.
Uh-huh. It told Sergeant Ryder, and I never seen an NCO get lit up because a lot of those times usually happen behind closed doors. But it's the motor pool. The motor pool is wide open. He locked Sergeant Martin up against the wall in the motor pool on the outside there, screaming at him like, "Don't you ever call a fucking soldier stupid. He knows more than you about this truck than you have." Like, ooh.
If little core military memory reminds, I want to say I remember, and I could be wrong. Walking by, seeing that, I'm like, keep going. Not my business.
Me? I think I was standing by a truck, like, listening in, like, yeah. Like, you want to be a dumbass and think you know everything because you're a certain rank, then get told you're wrong, and then get lit up by your superior? Woo.
Yeah, I remember in Korea, the team leader I had when I left, who turned out to, when he got there, he was like, he would fuck around with me. He's like, I'm here because my wife's not here and I'm bored. But then as time went on and he saw how things were going with our new SWAT leader and whole 9 yards, he was very much an ally. But he always said, like, he came from Fort Polk and he was
Louisiana.
And he was MP, he rode MP stateside his entire 4 or 5 years in. And he was like, he admitted, he was like, I know nothing of this stuff since I went to basic training. He's like, so I want to, please help me. I was like, sorry, I'm still a freaking private. What? Yeah, I barely know this shit. But
the one.
and so, but he recognized he didn't know a lot. You know what I mean? He knew that this wasn't his. For 4 or 5 years since basic training, he only did the road.
Right.
And so he knew, he's like, we didn't really do motor pool Mondays. We really didn't train on the Mark 19s and the 50 cals. He's like, so I'm learning right here with you about this stuff. It's a refresher for me. You did it for the past year and a half since basic training. So if you remember anything, please tell me. He's like, if I'm wrong, don't be insulted. I won't be insulted. So in that regard, Sergeant Martin was probably in the same boat where he was, stateside, friggin' MP or road MP his entire time, and he didn't really do it. And you have, and this goes for everybody, not just in the military, but in the regular real world and your job and whatever. If you don't know something, have the gumption to say, look, I don't know this, and talk to somebody who has, even if if you're a supervisor or a manager on duty and you're new at this store or new at this location, but somebody that's been there for 2 years. Okay, how do you guys do this?
It's nothing wrong with being humble. Just if you don't know, ask.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you're, in the military's case, the new private coming in, you already know you don't know shit. Everybody else knows you don't know shit. All right. So you're starting with a clean slate. And if you're an NCO, like in my case with my team leader and Sergeant Martin, and I'm sure others are the same way. If you knew this was your lane for X amount of years, and now you're in this position, acknowledge the fact, have the integrity to be like, look, I don't know. Following along, it's a refresher for me. Whatever. But so.
I have one more thing because the 110th happened to me and Milton one more. Well, it happened to Milton twice. Me once. You remember Sergeant Vallejos?
Yes, he was my team leader when I got there.
Okay. Good guy, horrible leader. And this is why I said we're in the field, right? And me and Milton were doing, I think we had a shift of RTO at the command center or whatever you want to call it. The TOC. Sorry, there it is, TOC. And we took a Humvee up there, and now we're on our way back, and I'm driving, and I get the Humvee stuck. Because in the field where we were staying, it was nothing but a fucking mud pit, and the Humvee got stuck. So I can't remember who got Sergeant Vallejos, but one of us got Sergeant Vallejos, and he's like, oh, all right, and the motherfucker went back to sleep instead of coming out to help us. And I am digging this fucking truck out with an e-tool.
And for those that don't know, an e-tool is a collapsible shovel that's barely good enough to do anything with. It just flatters back and forth because it's never tight.
So I'm digging out a Humvee with an e-tool, trying to laying in mud and puddled water. Oh, I was livid. And then when we got the truck unstuck, I go right to him. I kick his fucking, a fucking cot. I'm like, where were you? Where the fuck were you? I don't give a fuck about your rank today, buddy. Get ready to get fucked. This is a private that don't care about his career right now.
I'm ready to throw hands in my career out the freaking window.
And trust me, I think all the other NCOs will look the other way while I beat the snot out of you.
And we all know at least one NCO, not even just say soldier, that if anybody just started throwing hands, you know me, I know at least two of them, that nobody's going to stop you until it's the point where they have to stop you.
I still remember when you and Brett and MPOC.
Dude, I don't even I don't even remember how that fucking started.
No, but I remember Sergeant Ferguson, all calm. Hey guys, get down to the front line of rest and start doing push-ups. I'm like, that is the calmest smoking I've ever seen.
Like, I'm not even mad.
But I remember Brett grabbed you by like the collar, and you just reached into you like, well, if someone's grabbing me like that was your I'm gonna do it right back. Like, you're not backing down. You're not one to back down. You're like, if you're gonna get in it, you're getting in it.
Hey, you know what I think happened? And again, I don't remember exactly what led to it, but I was walking by and I was like, "Watch out, bud! Excuse me." And he's like, "Don't fucking touch me." I'm like, "Whoa, dude, relax." And I went to go put my hand, like, "Dude, chill. My bad, dude. You all right?" And then he pushed me, and I grabbed him, and then he grabbed me back, and we were like tug of war in the middle of friggin' POC. Like, dude, how do we even get into this fucking position?
I think he was going through a rough patch, and you just caught him on a bad day.
And yeah, that's fine. Like, I get it, dude. We've all had bad days, but I'm like, dude, that's why I was like, dude, you all right, man? What's going on? Like, we've known each other for at least 2 years, almost 2 years now, at least.
For the 110th, yep.
So it's like, we're cool, like. And then didn't he leave like shortly after that too? If I remember.
He did. He got out. He wound up rejoining after our second deployment, from what I heard. But I think I got to end it. Well,
All
you
right,
got
bud.
the power, but I'm here at work. It's fun going down memory lane with the military.
Yeah, maybe we could. We're gonna have little bit of a break. Super Bowl's 2 weeks. Royal Rumble's next weekend. This coming Saturday.
We could definitely maybe well, up to you. I'll leave it up to you. Like I enjoy doing the weekly thing. Like if we can find a topic or something to go on. Like I understand like the NFL was a big thing for us, but if we can find a weekly topic, like if it's wrestling, like I'm missing Monday Night Raw unless I'm off on Mondays because I work second shift. And I'll miss Friday SmackDowns because again I'm working.
Yeah.
So
When I'm at work, I try either. Me and Kay like watching it together, so we usually watch it on Netflix. But like the Rumble, I watch it on Peacock on my phone at work. I'll rewatch Raw on my phone. So it's like, I whether it's the next day or 2 days later, I usually watch it. So, with like Raw's, the Rumble, you could wait a few days, and then after Super Bowl, if we want to start doing some Vet Talk or Vet TV type stuff, shout out to the guys at Vet TV, and think of something.
I'm all for Vet TV. Disgruntled vets.
Not that disgruntled. We're just passionate.
Yep. Well, you have yourself a good day.
You too, bud. I'm gonna take the dog out to pee. She's been really good. She's been laying there.
Good.
Sleeping. So.
All right, man. See you next week.
Until next time, same warrior time, same warrior location.
See ya.
Adios.